Terrell Owens is with us, and he sent out this tweet after the Cowboys lost to the Rams in the playoffs. Hey, Jerry Jones, about time for a coaching change, don't you think? 2 playoff wins in 10 years. Garrett isn't the answer and never will be. Way to compete, guys. Real talk. So
I sent that.
I think that was you.
That was my account.
You got a burn.
I think it was. I hope not. Either way, once you tweet those things out, you know, these guys, they don't miss it. So, Terrell, when you think about that, when you think about that tweet, are you putting all the blame on Jason Garrett?
Absolutely, because, you know, a team takes on the temperament of their head coach. And I think early in the season when they were just a disaster and then they improved upon the first part of the season, I think a lot of those guys, they had pride. Anybody that has played the game, you have pride. You get tired of losing. And what that did, sadly to say, is that saved Garrett's job. That saved his job. But how can you continue to not get past the first round of the playoffs? You've had ample enough times and opportunities to get this team beyond where they've gotten. Look at, in my situation, we had a great team when I played there. And because of certain situations, with injuries or whatever the case may be, we never got over the hump with such a great team that we had. And now they have some pieces in place, and they're still kind of just idling in the water.
Once again, I can't believe it, but I completely concur.
He done fired him like
I would have fired him
3 years.
Yeah, I fired him 17 times.
My thing is, why not make the change now? Because you extend him, you wait till the middle of the season, or you go to start of the new season, and then things don't go well, then you're going to fire him mid-season. Anyway.
You know Jerry ain't firing Jason.
What?
Jerry ain't going to fire Jason.
Well, what's going to change?
Oh, I'm not disagreeing. It's like saying that Jason Garrett is a good coach.
At some point, something has to change. Something has to change.
Look, Shannon,
when and how and where.
Jason Garrett is not bad at what he does, but this team is way better than not bad.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you.
And clearly, Jerry Jones loves Jason Garrett like a son. And Jason Garrett does whatever Jerry tells him to do, which is why their partnership works.
I like that statement. He likes him like a son. Guess what? He liked Tony Romo like a son, too. And he had to get rid of him at some point. So why not?
So the rumors persist that Jerry would go get Sean Payton from New Orleans. And would I love that? I'm signing off. If you can explain to me how that's possible, you're way ahead of me, because I can't figure out the reality. Because he's got 2 more years under contract. You would have to trade for Sean Payton.
And you ain't got no first rounder.
You don't have one this year, but would you trade? Because they would want
some future first rounders.
They might want 2 future first rounders.
John went for 3.
He did.
And it should be done. If there's any way that this could be worked out, I would take a stab at it. Do you not think a Sean Payton Cowboy team would do better than a Garrett?
But let me tell you the difference between Sean Payton and Jason Garrett. The final say of the final 53 is going to be Sean Payton.
And guess what? The proof is in the pudding. His resume speaks for itself.
It was in the pudding with Jimmy. It was in the pudding with Bill Parcells. They said we are.
Things have changed, and I'm sure.
You believe Jerry Jones has changed?
I think if the right people get in his ear to make this happen, it will happen.
I agree. And Jerry is not getting any younger, and I think he sees that he's got a shot.
There were people that got in his ear to get rid of me, and it happened.
But you're right. He got in there.
You know what? That is funny, because I always thought you were like a son to him in a lot of ways.
I did too.
Here's the problem. Let me tell you why Jerry's not going to fire Jason. Because Jason's not the coach. Because Jerry gets the coach without taking any of the blame. You and I both know Jason Garrett is not a gambler by nature. But since when Jerry criticized him after that Texans game, what did Jason Garrett do on 4th down?
He did.
Almost all the 4th downs from that point on, he going for him like a riverboat gambler. He's not Ron Rivera. He's not Sean Payton. He's not Sean McVay, guys that we normally see go for it on 4th down. And the fact of the matter is...
There lies the problem.
I know it.
There lies the problem.
Jerry is the problem.
No, the coach is the problem. Jerry ain't calling no plays.
He called the plays that Jerry wanted him to do. You know that.
How you figure that?
Sometimes with a calculator, sometimes with scratch paper. But I come to the same conclusion that Jerry Jones is running all of the show.
Now he fires Linehan.
He did.
Every year there's a scapegoat.
Let me ask you a question. It's
not Garrett. It's always somebody.
What did Jason Garrett say? Now, Jason Garrett came out on Monday and said, my staff is coming back. Scott Linehan is coming back. Stephen Jones says, wait a minute. Jason Garrett didn't fire Scott Linehan. Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones fired Scott Linehan.
I'll buy that.
Again. Jason Garrett got no power. And Skip say he's an emperor with no cloak.
No clothes.
No clothes.
So
he ain't got no clothes on. He butt ball like this. You know it.
So explain this one to me. So Ian Rappaport has tweeted, I think this was this morning, that now the Cowboys are in flux with Kellen Moore as the probable new offensive coordinator who used to be the backup quarterback, as you know. And
John, go get Tony Romo. If that's the case.
Well, that's true. I think he's got a high-paid job.
Yeah, I don't know. $6 million to be in the booth and not taking it here and not meet every day.
So they brought back John Kitna to be the quarterback coach and Doug Nussmeier, and you remember he used to be the Roll Tides coordinator for 12 and 13. So he's now going to have more influence. He's the tight end coach in calling plays. But this says Jason Garrett will not be allowed to call plays. So I don't know who. Maybe they're going to trade off downs.
What
you get first down.
What are they calling the game by committee now?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah, Jerry Jones does that.
Come on.
Jerry Jones does that.
Well, he has to look himself at some point in the mirror and understands that, hey,
would Jerry be wearing a headset up in his booth?
Yeah.
Hey,
that's what we've been trying to tell you, T.O. You know Jerry running that thing. Like you said, who got you up out of it?
Exactly. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Jerry. Jerry, where's my camera? I'm disappointed in you.
Hold on. Okay, let me ask you this. How was Jason as a play caller?
At times, look, when we were 13-3, and then the year we came back and then we didn't do so well, that's because defenses, we caught everybody off guard, caught them by surprise. Then these defenses had a chance to game plan for us. As you saw at one point in the game, you saw Amari Cooper said he was frustrated. I felt this frustration because he hadn't been there that long and already knew that they were running the same old thing. And they saw in the game that they came back and won, I think there was, I guess, some eye contact with him and Dak where he came back and he was like, yo, why are we running the same play? And they adjusted that route and he ended up scoring on it. Because it's the same old thing over and over. At some point, you gotta renew. You gotta evolve with the times. You can't keep running the same thing. Dude, that's why they're not winning beyond the first round. They're not going to go anywhere with a Jason Garrett coach team. I'm just telling you.
Quarterback need to get better, too.
Terrell, thank you.
Quarterback need to get better, too.
He's good enough.
I wish we had more time to keep T.O. around. Thank you. Appreciate your time. Thanks for making time for Undisputed.